Are you looking to add injectables to your med spa? Or maybe your current injectors are so booked up, you feel like you're losing business, you're losing opportunities because you need more injectors. But it's a scary thing to do because you don't want to lose money. You don't want to invest time and money into an injector and just to have them leave. You don't want to pay someone to sit there while they have an empty schedule and check their Instagram, right? Today, I'm so excited to have Abby Honecker, practice manager of Circles of Wellness in St. Augustine, Florida, talking to us today about her philosophy on how injectors are really made, they're not found. Welcome, Abby.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Just dive into this philosophy, right? All of your experience as a practice manager, how did you finally come to the realization that injectors, they're made, they're not found?
I think one of the biggest things about finding an injector is that when people get certified to become an injector, they don't know what to do. They're lost almost in a way. And so when you are able to find an injector that has experience, that has these things, a lot of times as well, they have things that aren't as great that they've learned along the way or they've experienced because they've just been injecting. If you build an injector, you can create this provider that is well-rounded and that you can really focus and pinpoint what their strengths are. And then you can guide them in that way with training and continue training and ultimately building a great client base for your client and your spa.
I can get on board with that, but I don't want to invest time and money in someone that's going to leave me. I don't want to invest time and money in someone to just sit there and do nothing. We're going to give the good stuff today, right? You're going to unveil all your secrets and really how to make this a win-win for everyone and to keep a happy injector that's going to stick with you, right, for a really long time. What does, that first 3 to 6 months look like?
That first 3 to 6 months, obviously the first place is finding a great injector, someone that fits in with you, a provider. They may not have the certifications or the skill set as of yet, but they are a great fit for your practice. Looking for that is key first. I find the person that's going to work well with my team and work well in our environment. After that, we send them for training, and the first 90 days, they are learning, they're growing, and they're building their clientele. We send them to their certification. After they get their initial certification, we let them jump in and do some neurotoxin work, and then a little bit of filler, but we meet with our reps. We set up trainings with Allergan, with Galderma, with MERS, with Revanesse, with Revance, all of the companies that we work with personally. And we ask them, what can you do to help us build these injectors? We want to do well within the area with your services, your products, and how can you help us? And then we can in turn help you. And we just build these injectors with these trainings. And over the first 90 days, we set up these trainings for these injectors. And during that time, we do not give them any commission. We base their pay based on that because we're investing them in training. And we ask them to give us a year of service, or they have to pay us back for the trainings that they've received. But that hasn't happened because everyone sticks with us because we're building them to be strong providers. And again, we've already made sure that they're a good fit within our environment with our interview process and our breakdown and our work interviews. But once they jump in and they get to, we see where they're going to be focused. And at that point, we can continue to build on them for the next 6 to 9 months.
Let me break that down a little bit of what some of my big takeaways from that is. First and foremost, in your interview process, you're looking for those soft skill sets that you can't teach a person, right? That it's just in them or not. If they're going to be a good fit in your culture, for your team, they're going to be able to take the great training and information that you're going to be giving them and then ultimately perform at the level that you're going to be expecting of them. Because oftentimes I see med spas, they're only willing or looking to hire someone that already has all the training, right? And that's really hard to do, to find someone that is experienced. And if they are experienced, oftentimes they're bringing their drama and their baggage from some other med spa, right? And they might be a diva, and that's why they're leaving their last one. Now, that's not always the case. I'm not, trying to put that out there by any means. But I love that in essence that, that it really goes back to your philosophy of that you can make an amazing injector. You don't just have to sit back and wait. Sometimes years, I've seen med spas wait to add to their injectable staff because they're just waiting for turnover from another med spa to happen, right? You're really, taking the bull by the horns and be like, no, I'm going to make them into the injector that is going to uplift and continue to add to our team. And then you have a plan to get them there.
Yes, I think something that's very important is a passion for aesthetics. You see a lot of people will apply to the med spa world because they're transitioning from, the medical field, and they're looking for something different, but they're not really sure what that looks like. You're looking for someone who has a passion for it, because if they do, they will always want to continue to grow and be better, and they will be the best injectors. You definitely don't want to hire someone who is just trying to switch fields, change fields, move, and ultimately moving from one spot to another. That's another issue in and of itself. If you're able to find someone who loves aesthetics, who is excited to be in the field, is ready to learn, that's your person. That's who you want to invest in, because they are going to give back what you're giving to them.
How do you structure the pay when you bring on a new injector that isn't going to bring a whole book of clients with them and hit the ground running? How do you just not completely take it in the shorts and lose money, bleed money for months on end until they're busy? One, I want to know pay structure, and then two, transition into what the structure is, what you ask of them, what you do for them to ultimately begin getting them a full schedule.
So we always start our injectors out hourly. So we pay them hourly and then commission. It's a nice balance, right? So the more they do, they want to continue. You want to continue to reward them for their efforts and their hard work and their dedication to their clients. So you have a base pay that gives them that security that they know that they're investing, and they're going to be taken care of, but then the ability to continue to grow. So there's not a ceiling. We hold that commission for the first 90 days so that they can develop, and we can train them, and we're investing in them to help them. And we give them that time to build their clientele. Once they're in there, though, we require a lot of other things from them. We require follow-up and contact with our clients. We require, social media presence. We require a lot of things within the spa to help them build their clientele, because we're matching what they do. What we do, we're asking them to do. And as a team, we were able to build our facility and our clientele. And ultimately, once they get past that 90 days, they have established nice little base. They're going to get that next 3 months and the next 3 months and the next 3 months, and building on that. And as they train and they grow and they continue to get more training, we offer them a training budget. There's not just a once and done. You start with us, you get your training, now you're injecting and you're in client and you're doing those things. We don't stop there. Yearly, they get a training budget. We invest in them and continue to do that so that they can continue to grow. And ultimately, the more that they're able to do, the bigger their clientele will be, the more that they're going to make for the spa. And they feel like they're taken care of too. It's not just come in here, work, do your job, leave. This is, hey, we're going to continue to develop and build into you because we believe in you. And that helps us with our turnover rate. People don't want to leave when they're taken care of. And then at the same time, they're able to make money. So we're giving them the things that they want the most.
I love that. What I love too is that you break down the exact roadmap for them to be successful, for the med spa to be successful. I've heard a lot of times people like, well, I told her that she's got to, fill up her schedule, or she's got to help fill up her schedule, and she's just not doing anything. And I said, well, that isn't a natural thing for everyone to know how to do. What have you given her specific tasks and activities and laid out what is expected? It's always like this light bulb that goes off. It's like, I just expect them to know how to do it. And you literally lay everything out. You do not leave things up for interpretation. And that's how you can ensure that the investment is going to pay off at the end of the day.
Something that's very important, a med spa, you're a team. It's not just I have to market and I have to create that and bring the clients in for my providers. And it's not, the providers have to be on their social media and they have to be working it to bring in clientele. We have to work together. And I think having a clear plan makes that very easy, from how we contact the clients, our weekly meetings, setting up our specials, talking to our providers, looking at what services are we lacking in? How can we build that? Asking their input, taking from what their clients are saying. They're the ones in the rooms with their client. The client tell them what they need and what they want. And then we can develop a plan. And we try to do that at 30 days out, or 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, and then 90 days out. And we're just constantly building and giving them material so that they can promote and they feel like they have something that they can offer their clients as well.
Abby, I really feel like you just so get the business and then the customer service element of growing an Injector's book of business, right? People get so caught up in just doing the actual treatment, right? And that's a very important thing. Absolutely. I'm not saying it is. But so often we forget to spend time on what people think are like the basics or the no-brainers, or like, of course that happens. And the reality is if we're not having conversations, training, accountability, feedback loops, it doesn't happen. And that's when you get people sitting in the chair checking Instagram and you're pissed because you're paying them $20 or $40 an hour, and you look over at them and they're literally checking their Instagram, not posting their great before and after pictures, but posting having drinks last night kind of thing.
I think it's so important in whatever role you are in the spa, whether you're the director, the manager, the owner. What's really important is having a clear avenue and a clear plan for your injectors. So, or your any provider that you have in your med spa, as well as your guest relations staff, here's how it works. Here's how, when someone comes in, this is what's going to happen, and this is how this is going to happen. And once they get into the treatment room, this happens, and we're going to always take that picture here, and that picture is going to be in their portal. And the next step is, before you leave at the end of the day, these things have to be done. These before and afters have to be submitted to the guest relations team and our marketing director so that they can create the things that we need. If you don't have a clear protocol for how all of these things happen, they will fall through the cracks. Just understanding that, how do you track it? How do you monitor it? How do you get people to get on board with you? It's by doing it and telling them how, right? You don't just put it out there. We need more clients, right? We need to create a social media post this week. Just give me something. It's very detailed. It's always branded. It's always within the focus of the month. And we're always looking to help promote each other as well as a team, not just one. You're not only promoting yourself, but you're helping your esthetician, you're helping your laser tech, you're helping the front desk. Whatever it is, we all work together and it's clear. I think that's the most thing, is being clear and precise and giving clear expectations to all of your providers. I think if you have that, you'll be really surprised how much they're willing to give back to you.
What do you think is a healthy training budget? Is that different if you're in the first year versus the second year for your team members? What would you recommend for a training budget?
All of our injectors have had different amounts. Everyone gets a basic training amount in the beginning, right? We're going to send them to their initial training. We're going to then invest in them by promotions and things like that. But then the trainings within our product line with Galderma, Allergan, all of our reps, that's at no cost for us, right? We're investing in them, we're supporting, and then of course we bring in the models and we provide that training for them. But then after that, it's all different. Because based on your passion, based on how quickly you learn, based on what you're willing to do, we have an injector, and I'll give her a shout out because she's just amazing, Megan Pankey. She is just above and beyond. And we invested in her from day one, and she is hungry. She is learning, and every time I ask her to jump, she jumps to that next level and she keeps moving. And as she moves, I go with her. As long as she's growing, I'm going to continue to grow with her, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop progress. We don't really have a set budget for each provider. It's based on where they want to go. I don't want to push them too much, but I don't want to hold them back. As far as Megan goes, the sky's the limit. I will keep investing in her because, the return is great. At initial certification, depending on which one you want to do, we don't have a set budget, but we do have a yearly budget for each provider. We have like $5,000 that we invest in them easily the first year. We can go above that or below that. And then after that, it lessens and lessens because we don't have as many. But if there's a procedure that they're really hungry for and they're looking to, they want to learn, we add it to the budget.
That's awesome. I love that so much. That's going to help you keep those hungry, passionate injectors around. They want to stick with you and not get the idea that it's time for them to just go out and either jump ship to another med spa or start their own practice kind of thing. It's a win-win for everyone. And another thing that I know you do that I really love too is that you have not only a roadmap of activity, but future pacing them on what their potential compensation is, what it looks like in the first 90 days, and then thereafter, and you're breaking the numbers down to show them how they can make more money, right?
Yeah, so as they grow and as they build up their clientele, now they're adding in that commission, and then they're adding in, and then we also train them in our product lines. So they have to be trained in all products that we use and we sell. That's the next step, at home care, being compliant. If they're just coming in and they're just getting certain things, they're never going to be happy. We're not miracle workers. It takes an entire village to reach the goals that you want to reach. They also we require them to also do all of the aesthetic trainings that our estheticians do. They have to learn what these services are and how they can benefit their client. Because if people will come in for neurotoxin, like that's not hard, right? A lot of people that's where they want to come in, but they really probably need a laser treatment, or they need to get on a great protocol with some, medical grade products that can help them reach their goals. I think that makes them more well-rounded as well. And when they invest in that, then they see their commissions continue to grow because now the client is loyal. They're going to listen to them. They trust them because they know they have their best interests at heart, because we're not above telling you no. You come in and you want something and we say, no, this is what you need. I'm not doing that today. We're going to start here. And you will be so surprised how much that builds that clientele. And honestly, education, training, and teamwork is key as far as growing your clientele and then ultimately making more commission on your end.
You brought up a few times the element of teamwork and collaboration, and I would love for you to speak a little bit more on that, because we do often see, I don't know if clicks is the right word, or, rogue injectors that I just do my thing, I don't worry about what anyone else is doing thing. And how do you create an atmosphere, a culture where even when you have star players, that they want to be a part of a team and value that and collaborate?
I think it starts from the top down. For myself at the spa, I'm not above doing laundry. I'm not above sweeping the floor. I'm not above doing anything in the spa that anyone. So I'm not above filming a video. We are all part of the team. And so I create that from the very beginning by showing it from myself. We do events. You're required to do 2 events every 6 months. So I partner them up. So 2 people go to events and they have to go to these events together. So I'll partner an esthetician with an injector, or a massage therapist with one of our laser techs, or our guest relations team. But we do events at the spa as well, where everyone has to participate within these events, even if it's not your expertise, because we're building the spa, which ultimately builds yourself. Besides that, the team works on each other because we do our staff service day once a month. And so I assign that as well. And that helps everyone to see the value each individual provider does, as opposed to, here's what I do. We know that injectors are going to make the most money. They're going to bring in the most amount of business to the spa. That's just normally how it works. But how do they then bring someone to the esthetician or the laser tech? Or how does the laser tech then refer over to an injector? During our consultations, I pair up an injector with an esthetician or a laser tech. So they have to bring another person in to do the consultation with them, and they work as a team to create a treatment plan that's beneficial to the client. We're always working together. There's not a time where you're individual by yourself in a spa. And so we also have treatment coordinators that come in and float with all of our staff. They help as well to build that teamwork so that the client is getting 150% of our attention and our energy, because one person can't do it by themselves.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I love the structure or planning that you have to get estheticians and medical providers working together and collaboratively. That is gold tips that you just shared with us today, Abby. Thank you so much. If you live in the St. Augustine area in Florida, make sure that you reach out to Abby, because she is always on the hunt, always looking for the next great injector to grow her team. Her med spa is growing rapidly, guys, and not just in the St. Augustine area. So be on the lookout for that. But thank you so much, Abby, for joining us. And ask Abby questions, DM us, because she is a wealth of information. Thank you so much, Abby.
Thank you.